Good evening, folks, and welcome to beautiful Las Vegas Motor Speedway, night number 3 here, and we are capping off Season 4 with the Silverback Tax Series tonight. I'm Greg Olenek, joined by Brandon Domain. Brandon, can you believe it? It is race number 60 of 60. We're going to wrap this season up and put a bow on it, and who knows what we have in store here tonight.
Man, I tell you what, if it's anything like what we saw in the first 2 nights here this week, it could be utter chaos. And we've got a couple wild cards in this one. We've also got our top 3 regular season drivers going for a championship in this one. Kind of a mixed bag compared to what we saw those last 2 nights.
Yeah, so we've got 2 champions so far already. Joseph Causey winning the Cup Series over there in the Buckhager Cup Series, and Ben Park winning the Truck Series championship last night. So let's go ahead and see who is going to be vying for that $500 here tonight in the Silverback Series. And there you see Austin Reedy at the top of the board with 4 wins and pretty much almost perfect round of 10. Almost putting 3 in a row on the board, but comes home second last week. He is looking strong here tonight. Vincent Cortez could be one to keep an eye on here and sneak away with the championship tonight. Jacob Manning looking to go back-to-back as far as championships go. Joshua Balliet has had a stellar season so far too, with 3 wins to his name. And even though Seth Reed only has 1 sticker next to his name, he's been up front most of the time.
Absolutely. And I mean, you talk about a near perfect last round for Austin Reedy. How about a 2.4 average finish over the course of the entire playoff for Austin Reedy? That's slightly better than Joshua Balliet, not far behind at a 3.5. But I got to tell you, this is interesting here because last night, the highest regular season driver that we saw in the Championship 5 in the trucks was 7th in the regular season, and they walked away as a champion. 4 of these 5 drivers going for a championship were in the top 7 in the regular season standings here. So a lot of chalk up there with Vincent Cortez kind of being that, well, it's not too long after March Madness. He's the 12 seed that's trying to make his way here to a championship.
Yeah, it's all about momentum and who can get hot at the right time. Jacob Manning winning last week. Well, he's got a lot of momentum heading into this week as well as Austin Reedy, like we've already mentioned. Anybody's game. They're still out there qualifying with just over a minute left. So let's check out those team championship standings. Tank Racing going up against JW. Well, JW ties it up after last week's race, and you couldn't really beat them pretty much any better. First for Manning, Reed gets 3rd place and some bonus points, and Nick Halda a good finish, probably his best finish of the year, coming home in 7th place. That's going to go ahead and beat the 108 points put up by Tank Racing.
I mean, 2 absolutely solid performances, a 4th, 8th, and a 5th, a 1st, 3rd, and a 7th. That's 2 straight weeks, all 6 of their scores in that matchup, all inside of the top 8. So this could be another firepower display here tonight to close it out.
Yeah, so let's go ahead and check out that 3rd place matchup, and that one is sealed up. Murray Reedy Motorsports. Hard to beat them when they've got Austin Reedy on the track for them. They win 100-40. You see a few drivers not showing up for Phoenix Virtual Racing, so that's going to give Murray Reedy Motorsports the 2-0 win and a little bit of cash in their pockets as well. So congratulations to them too.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, you got Austin Reedy, obviously really good run there. And then Craig Lautenschlager, he's leading the Tier 2 standing, something we don't talk a whole lot about, but he's got the best run out of everybody that didn't make the playoffs here this year. So really stout lineup there for Murray Reedy in that matchup.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm trying to work on this graphic, get it off the screen before we head out there. There we go. You gotta love those last race of the season technical difficulties, but let's waste no more time, Brandon, and get out there to see the starting grid here tonight. So it looks like Logan Truitt going to be on the top of the board. That's one of those drivers going for that little bit of cash, too, from 6th through 8th. Or actually, he's in the Tier 2 championship. My bad. He is going to be going for that money. Just 1 point behind Craig Lautenschlager. You see him in 6th. So him and Seth Reed going to be on the front row. Jonathan Byer and Austin Reedy in row number 2.
3rd out of our championship 5. 5th on the starting lineup is going to be Jacob Manning. He'll be to the inside of Craig Lautenschlager, the Tier 2 leader. Logan Joyner will be starting in P7 with the 4th of the championship 5, Joshua Balliet, starting on the outside of row 4.
Then you got Cole Martin, Vincent Cortez, row 5, Josh Marcy and Josh Susi, both on row number 6. Going through the rest of the field here, Jackson Wade, Devin Zimmerman in row 7, with Max Service and Daniel Ballard in row 8.
17th will be Adrian Schumacher, the playoff lucky dog winner. He's still in the running for some cash there in that 6 to 8 finishing order. Nathan De La Rosa will start in 18th. Tyler Murray and Bo Tiffany will make row number 10.
And then you got Jovi Ray and Chris Bishop in row number 11. Nick Halda and Jack Johnson rounding out row number 12. And also, while we're here, I got to give a quick shout out to Butt Kicker for coming on board here in season 4 and sticking with us the whole time. I'm pretty sure they've been on board since SRN became a thing, so can't thank them enough. Go ahead and check them out at thebuttkicker.com and see what kind of equipment they've got for the sim racer in your life. And also need to go ahead and give a quick shout out to TJ's Team Foundation too over at morethan.acape.org. Cannot stress enough how important it is to head over to morethan.acape.org and just donate whatever you possibly can. Any little amount goes so far for these families in need. So go ahead, check it out, morethan.acape.org. So Brandon, I gotta ask, last time we get to do this here for season 4, who is your victim here tonight?
You know what? You know that picture of Rob Lowe where he just has the NFL hat? That's going to be me today. I hope everybody has a good time to close out the season. I am not going to put that curse on anybody.
All right, well, I will, because I have no shame. I think the 50 of Jacob Manning is going to go back-to-back as far as championships go. Not necessarily saying he's going to win it here tonight, but I think Jacob Manning has what it takes to get it done here. He's been here before. It kind of takes the pressure off when you've been in his shoes. So the 50 car going to be feeling pretty good here tonight. That is my pick. He's starting in 5th place. So the pace car lights are off. We're going to see it go down the pit row here down at Las Vegas Motor Speedway. And we're going to kick things off for the championship 165. Green flag in hand as they approach the Geico restart zone and the Silverback Tax Solutions. Green flag waves here in Las Vegas. Coming back to turns 3 and 4, and they are side by side, 3 wide, up at the front of this thing. Logan Trua, he's going to come back to lead the first lap, but Jacob Manning already up 3 spots just like that. Seth Reed, his teammate. Well, I don't know how well they're going to be working together here tonight. Both of them going for a championship side by side as they enter turn number 1.
Yeah, a little bit different than what we saw last night. Here tonight, the JW guys, they're not just already locked in on that team championship. They got 2 different things to be thinking about, so that's going to be interesting to see how they navigate that with both of them in the running for the individual side as well.
Austin Reedy with a little bit of a blink there as I went to his camera, so that's got to be a little concerning for the man that's been dominating with that average of 2.4 for the round of 10 that you mentioned earlier. He is battling side by side with Seth Reed right now for 3rd, so he has got his hands full. Craig Lautenslager, who's been a pleasant surprise here lately, sitting there in that beautiful Jeff Burton throwback in 5th.
Yeah, really strong run there. There's no doubt that he's earned that top spot in the Tier 2 standings coming into this race. But keep in mind, we still got 11 drivers mathematically eligible to catch Craig Lautenslager at the top of those standings. So that one's still wide open.
Yeah, Logan Truitt out in front. He's 1 point behind Craig Lautenslager. With that bonus point, well, he's going to be feeling pretty good so far. But Lautenslager not going too far. But right now, Manning taking a look to the outside potentially here, quickly getting that 50 car out in front.
Nice job getting that high line in these Xfinity cars especially. I think that high line going to carry a lot of momentum, especially coming out of turn number 2. I think he can build a lot of steam there down that back straightaway. He's going to use it on the high line again there in 3 and 4. Get clear. He'll get that bonus point, but keep in mind, all that matters tonight, first one across the line at the end.
Yeah, it's going to matter as far as the team championship goes, and that is important in the JW Racing stable. If you know JW Racing, they're going to be wanting that team championship. So Jacob Manning out in front. Here comes Austin Reedy, though, getting by Logan Truitt. Looking like the high line, going to be the prominent line here tonight in these Xfinity cars. I haven't had a chance as Sean Griffith kindly took over the last 2 races here this week and did a great job, I got to mention here, but didn't get to see the races so far. Brandon, has the line been up high here so far this week?
Kind of a mixed bag. I think in the truck side, we saw a lot of guys going down low, but that middle line kind of opened up. I think on the Cup side, the middle line was really, really strong for a lot of that run, especially as the tires started to run out. A little bit of a scatter in the back of the pack here, nearly a caution coming out. Looks like they're all going to keep that together, though. So we stay green out in front with Jacob Manning continuing to open up this lead just a little bit as he tries to become the first ever two-time champion in SRN.
Really close there between Logan Joyner as well as Josh Marcy. So they are currently battling for 9th here. Seeing what other battles we got going on throughout the course of this track here. This battle for 3rd is probably the best battle we have right now. Logan Truitt trying to hang on after getting the pole here tonight at Las Vegas Motor Speedway. Seth Reed, I think he's just taking his time around here, saving those tires here, because the trend lately has been long green flag runs here in the Silverback Series.
Yeah, absolutely. And the most cautions we've seen the past couple seasons at Vegas is only 3. So, and those are kind of scattered a little bit late on one of those races too. So I think that it is going to be one of these long run races. I do believe at least. So if you get that, we're probably looking at a 2-stop race based on the fuel mileage. The tires going to be holding on there pretty well at the end of this with a decent fall off. One thing I did kind of want to touch on too, we're looking at these, these races that are similar, Kansas, Chicagoland, similar style racetracks. This Championship 5, all of them, their average finish no worse than 7th on those racetracks. So they're all bunched up real nice going into tonight.
Yeah, I think we're seeing the cream rise to the top here as far as the drivers on the 1.5-mile tracks. I mean, you look down this list, and each one of them can come home in victory lane any given week when it comes to the 1.5 miles. And no surprise to see Jacob Manning out in front so far, followed by Austin Reedy. So Austin, he's going to be feeling good about a little bit of a better qualifying situation here this week after he qualified mid-pack last week. And you can tell he was a little worried about that, but so far so good for the driver of the 96 there in 2nd. Logan Truitt so far settling in there in 3rd. These two cannot get away from each other, though. Craig Lautenschlager, Seth Reed still side by side.
Yeah, it's going to take some time for this to kind of split up here in this pack just because of the aero, because of the way that the draft does kind of play a little bit of a factor with the way that this track is laid out in these cars. Not going to be as significant as it was on the trucks, though, last night. We heard a lot of people talk about how it was very difficult to pass because of the way that the air works around that track and that kind of package for the trucks. I think in these Xfinity cars, they handle a whole lot differently, not as much downforce. Going to be a lot easier to be making some passes around here.
And don't look now. Here comes the driver of the number 7, Joshua Balliet there with Mr. Krabs. He likes the money. He's trying to get that $500 here tonight. And so far, so good. Started 8th up to 6th. And looking to maybe pick up another one. It's got Seth Reed just in front of him.
I tell you what, you talk about $500. I think it might take that winning that $530, that 30 on top for the race win. That might be what it takes here tonight to walk away as the champion with how stout that all 5 of these Championship 5 drivers have been on these 1.5 this season.
Can easily add even more cash if they come away with the team championship too. So a lot of money on the line for these guys here tonight. Hopefully Jason Tripp, that is, his checkbook is going to be feeling all right after tonight. And this season going to be wrapped up. Just crazy to think about it. I mean, it feels like yesterday that we just started this thing.
Yeah, it's crazy how fast those races go, even with this technically being the longest season in SRN history because of the holiday break, because of the build schedule. I think this wound up being about 28 weeks over the course of these 20 races for each series, but it still goes by so fast, and it's been an absolute blast here in Season 4.
Yeah, and you just hate to see it end, but you know what? We've heard talks in the background with the guys that matter most. There's potentially something on the books here for maybe a Season 5. So keep your eyes out for that. Always head over to speedracingnetwork.com or follow the social media sites. We got a great social media guy. I'm not going to go ahead and name drop him because, well, actually, it's Brandon here. He does a great job out there on the Instagram, and he will keep you informed of anything once we do hear it. But right now, we've still got plenty of time left in this Championship 165. Austin Reedy starting to gain a little bit of ground here on Jacob Manning.
He absolutely has. I mean, that interval was not too far away from about a half second not too long ago, but he's kind of inching forward. That last time they ran about identical lap times, but the last couple before it, it was a tenth quicker each time by for Reedy. So this is going to be the question. We had this as the big topic last night. I don't think it's going to be as significant here tonight because of these cars, but you're still going to have the leader in clean air. Everybody else is going to have that dirty air trying to make that pass going around them. That's like a brick wall hitting you once you get out from behind that race leader. It is challenging no matter what racetrack you're at, unless it's a short track or a road course, to be trying to make that pass here.
So the lowest running driver in the championship standings right now, that's going to be Vincent Cortez back here. He's starting to move up a little bit now too, though, up 3 spots after starting in 10th, up to 7th right now behind his teammate there, Joshua Balliet. So 3 of our championship drivers in a line, Seth Reed, Balliet, as well as Vincent Cortez, slowly but steadily making their way up to the front.
And to me, I think the kind of hidden thing here that's going to be real curious is how these pairs of teammates inside this championship 5 are going to be working together. Obviously, you want one of them to win the Oh, hello. Wow. Heck of a save there. I think Cortez kind of got in a little bit hot, maybe trying to follow Seth Reed there in that mid line, and Craig Lautenslager was trying to get that mid line also, and they kind of met in the middle, did a great job keeping it off each other. But Vincent Cortez might need a couple laps to kind of cool off those tires now.
He might need a new pair of pants as well, because he did all but wreck that thing going into turn number 1 right there. I know Vincent is usually a pretty big jokester, but I don't think he's going to feel too good about that one, especially how good that 23 car is running. He's going to have to make up some ground now, as you see Balliet taking a look to the inside of Craig Lautenslager. So Lautenslager starting to fall back a little bit after competing up here in the top 5 for a while.
Yeah, it was really interesting, too. I think one thing I kind of noticed on Tuesday that I haven't felt around Las Vegas is just with the update in the tire model around here, and it should be applying also for the Xfinity cars, you can kind of recover the pace a little bit after you kind of anger those tires a bit. You can really just take a lap or two, cool off those tires, and suddenly you got the speed back in this thing. There is going to still be that tire wear if you're building it up long term, but that short term anger on those tires, you can kind of recover from. So I think that might be the difference here with Lautenslager on the long-term wear versus Cortez on the short-term anger.
Yeah, so he's getting right back up on the bumper here of Lautenslager, so we'll keep an eye on his progress. Going and checking in on that 6th through 8th battle, currently led by Joshua Susi here in the 53. A heartbreaking weekend last week as he was so close in a great battle there on the cut line to making it in. Inevitably won by Vincent Cortez being the last car in. Susi with some trouble there at the end in those string of cautions. He's currently in the front runner spot as far as that $60 prize to 6th place goes, and looking throughout the rest of the field trying to see what we got. Max Service, he's another guy that's contending. He's back in 17th right now, so he's going to need to make up some ground. Got Adrian Schumacher just in front of him here in 14th place. Jovi Ray, he's making his way up. He's just in front of Adrian Schumacher. He currently sits in 13th place. Logan Joyner also in the running for that money. He is back in 20th. So Jovi currently in 7th as far as the standings go. He is in that $40 spot, followed by Adrian Schumacher there. He would be 8th with that $20 going home.
One up in the wall, turn 3. Craig Lautenslager caught the wall big time there. I think I heard a little tire slide there before it. And he got big time loose, it seems, and there he is up against the wall. Big time damage there on that right side.
Yeah, that is not going to feel good whatsoever, especially with him going for that Tier 2 championship as well. So that is going to hurt the 99 machine. Big time damage.
Yeah, on the left too.
Yeah, so man, wish we could go back and see. I'm going to try and find exactly what happened. Let's see. It's really hard to see with this SDK here.
Yeah, but I would say looking at the left side damage or along with the right side, I think there's probably some contact. He might have had a little help there to get into that wall. So here we go. We got Vincent Cortez on the inside in the 23, Craig Lautenslager in the 99, that beautiful X-side throwback, those old 2000 Jeff Burton cars. And a little tight racing here. Maybe no hard feelings from earlier. And oh, hello.
Vincent Cortez. A little bit of a net code it looked like there. But that is
not
good.
A little bit, but
trying to see Cortez as well. He's looking like he's all right as far as the right side goes, but right now,
I'd say little netcode, but I think they were about to touch anyway. They were both kind of going once again for that same line, and I don't think they were happy with each other from a couple laps prior either.
So Cortez needs to calm down a little bit. I'm sure he is probably red hot inside that 23 machine. Still a lot of race to go. Only 3 seconds off of our leader here. And can still get it done, but sitting back there in 7th now, well behind these guys up front, as Reed now making a pass to the inside of Logan Truitt. This is for 3rd if he can clear him back here.
Yeah, got him clear. So 3rd place now for Seth Reed, and everybody's starting to move forward out of that championship 5. They're starting to inch their way up towards that front row, or front spot, I should say, as we got about, I would say, 15 laps or so until that fuel window starts to close.
Yeah, definitely looking like a 2-stop race here tonight with 110 laps on the board. Quickly through 25 as Jacob Manning is going to cross the stripe here and start lap number 26. See if looks like Balliet going to try and make a move to the outside of Logan Truitt now. So Truitt, knowing he is pretty much sealed up the Tier 2 championship, if he can keep that car out there. Don't forget Nathan De La Rosa as well. Sits back there in 14th. Came into tonight's race just 5 points back off of Craig Lautenslager. So Lautenslager, well, he is going to be feeling it with all the damage. He's already fallen back to 18th.
And I'll tell you another one to keep in mind as you look at that left side of the screen on that pylon, that 10 car of Cole Martin, he's not far off there either, only 14 points out of that Tier 2 lead. Going to need a little bit of help, but a strong run there going for the 10 car as well.
Yeah, so Martin sits in 9th currently. I want to go on pit road here where I see Nick Halda with some significant damage to the right side of his car as well, and that is going to take a blow to the team championship standings for JW, as he was one of their highest running drivers last week, coming home in 7th place. He has been on pit road for 2 minutes already, so that's going to put them down to 4 cars up against 5 for Tank Racing out there as far as that team championship goes, so keep an eye on that too.
Yeah, and I was looking to see if maybe he would be, getting a lucky dog spot if he gets back out there, but actually you got Daniel Bowdler 1 lap down also. He just came off pit road, so that would be the lucky dog winner there. Nobody else within a half lap of falling a lap down at this point. Yeah,
next to go a lap down would be Jack Johnson there in 22nd, but like you said, they still got like a half a lap before they get around to him. And so far, checking in on those team championship standings, you got JW with 1st, 3rd, and 6th with Jacob Manning, Seth Reed, and Josh Susi. So they came into today with a car down already. So that's going to leave them with 3 cars, actually, from what it looks like on my SDK here. Tank currently 4th, 7th, and 11th with Balliet, Cortez, and Schumacher. So still close, but the numbers are in favor right now of Tank Racing if they can get some help with Zimmerman and Max Service getting up there too.
Yeah, that's a big advantage in this situation because right now there is no safety net for those guys in JW Racing with just 3 drivers still in contention and running at full song right now. They're all doing a great job, but we also know that Manning and Reed, they've got a whole lot to be racing for. And man, I don't know. You get to late in this race, they might start taking some chances, and that could be what decides this championship on the team side as well.
Well, if you're Seth Reed right now, you don't want to look in your rear view mirror because you're going to see a mirror full of Mr. Krabs on the hood of Joshua Balliet's number 7 here, as he is starting to pick up more spots, up 4 already for Balliet. And right now, I would go out on a limb and say he's one of the fastest cars on the track. Let's check the last times there on the scoring tower. And there you see Balliet with 32.42. Only other car that's faster is the one you mentioned a little while ago, Cole Martin, sitting there 9th.
Yeah, everybody pretty close even, too. I mean, aside from Adrian Schumacher, everybody within a 1/10 of a second on that last time by within the top 10. But we're seeing the fall-off really start to hit. Last night, a full tire run in the trucks, we were looking at about 1.1, 1.2 seconds on the fall-off. Here tonight, we're already over 1.5 seconds, closing in on 1 3/4 seconds. And they still got about 10 laps or so before they're going to start coming down pit road.
It's an interesting line as we ride on board with Balliet, kind of starting in the middle and turning down to run down off the low line at the end of turn number 2. See if he matches that here in 4. Right now it seems to be working as he got real close to making a move to the outside of the 51. As you see kind of the 51 pushing up a little bit on the exit here. Not so much for the 7, so that could be really paying dividends as far as saving tires goes for the 7 here tonight.
Yeah, it was real interesting. That's a line that I was trying to use on the Cup side on Tuesday, where you kind of dive down that little bit low, hit that late apex, and it kind of gets straight a little bit sooner to max out your speed down that back straightaway. And honestly, normally you kind of think that might kind of wear out the tires a little bit more, but it was actually doing a pretty good job on the Cup side. Curious to see if that's the same on the Xfinity side. But when you straighten out that car faster, you can get a lot of momentum coming off that turn.
Let's go ahead, check back a little bit further on back and see Jovi Ray battling Jackson Wade. Jovi currently the biggest mover so far, up 9 spots. And an important guy to follow considering he is racing for that 6th through 8th money, that payout that he could potentially walk away with here tonight. Now, currently Josh Susi is leading that, coming home in 6th so far as the points goes. But Jovi is climbing, as well as Adrian Schumacher, who is up 7 spots. Just a couple spots ahead of Jovi here.
Not only that, he just put down the fastest lap last time by at a 32:38. This time by showing up at a 32:47, so a little bit of a difference. We're seeing a lot of variance now, lap to lap for some of these guys inside the top 10. One lap they'll be about a 32.4, next time about a 32.6. So they're kind of bouncing around. That tells me at this point these tires are getting really inconsistent, and a nice little handful for these guys to be dealing with.
Yeah, nice little handful for us. I don't think it's so nice for them down there in the Xfinity cars because, yeah, it just tightens up big time here on these guys and almost feels like you can't turn. And that's not what you want whatsoever. So Jovi up to 11th. We got some pit stops happening. Lautenschlager into the wall back there.
Big time hit for Craig Lautenschlager, the Tier 2 leader coming into tonight's race. The front end completely gone, and that tells me that's going to be a power impact, and I'm going to be surprised if that car makes it to the end of the night. Here's Austin Reedy. He's going to sacrifice second place, 2 seconds behind Jacob Manning. He'll be the first of the Championship 5 on pit road.
I don't hate it. I don't hate it whatsoever. Nope. Clearly, Manning has the best car so far here tonight. Get some fresh tires. Start over if you're the 96. Come home or coming in second place. I got to feel good about that and kind of reset as far as that goes because clearly it didn't go the way he wanted as far as that first stint goes. Gets in very carefully in the 96 machine. You're going to be seeing these guys taking it easy here on pit road as Jacob Manning stays out there tonight. You cannot afford any mistakes whatsoever.
Well, no, and think about, we saw it last night in the Truck Series, a penalty completely taking one driver out of the championship picture and knocking him multiple laps down. That was on the pit exit, just getting across that line a little bit too early. But still, those mistakes on pit road, they will make or break your championship hopes. If you get down there fast, we saw that last night too. That was a big determining factor, was the speed down pit road and being able to maximize your time there. That led to Ben Park getting into a great position where he could find his way around Trevor Williams for the title.
Yeah, and I mean, it all comes down to nailing this final race. You got to get here, obviously. You got to be in it to win it, but all comes down to one race. I know not a lot of people love that, but I certainly love that. It puts everything into just nailing the perfect race. I think each one of these guys has deserved their spot here tonight, and they're going to have to earn it, especially with the way this 50's driving. Looking like he is probably going to bring it down this time.
Oh, no.
Whoa. Whoa.
That is the save of the season if Jacob Manning winds up, A, not speeding on the entry, and B, if he winds up winning this championship, that is going to be the move that just won it for him right there, being able to keep that thing under control.
Well, I think if he doesn't get a penalty, and I think he got it down in time, I think that is going to be as good as a pit entry as you can get. He is trying to get everything in it. And like I said, that just goes to show he's been here before. Less pressure. He knows how to hit his marks, and he is nailing them so far. Seth Reed looking like he's going to bring it down this time.
Yeah, a whole lot smoother. Him and Joshua Balliet. Oh, I said that, and then, man, almost lost it there once he transitioned onto the apron.
Cortez.
Vincent Cortez in the grass.
And he totally missed pit road altogether. He's going to have to go around one more time. Oh, and he almost comes.
Oh, hello.
That is a killer if you're Vincent Cortez, man.
And you can see that grass got those tires dirty and just trying to keep that thing under control. But that's going to put him down at least 2 laps compared to everybody else staying on the racetrack. 1 for the pit stop itself, 1 just for having to slow it down. He might wind up 3 laps losing in this process compared to everybody else. That is an absolute killer there for Vincent Cortez.
A killer for Vincent Cortez and Tank Racing. He was one of their higher running drivers as far as the team championship goes. And Tank, I mean, they've had a great championship week so far. You know they want to come away with the team championship. And, man, it is just hard to get out of your head at this point if you're Vincent Cortez. Just mistake after mistake as we see our leader, Logan Truitt, bring it down this time. Adrian Schumacher getting a lot out of that entry.
Yeah, that was a really good entry for Adrian Schumacher. Smooth and closed that gap pretty nicely. And looks like everybody now is going to be already coming down pit road. This will be the last group, so that's going to cycle out to Austin Reedy. Keep in mind, he was 2 seconds behind Jacob Manning when they started that pit cycle. He's going to be just slightly ahead of him. That undercut by what looks like it's going to be 3 laps. That's going to be the difference. Now, keep in mind, that's also going to be 3-lap fresher tires for Jacob Manning.
And Manning, as you can see, is there. And that's a helpless feeling if you're in the 96. You kind of just want to make Jacob use up anything you can at this point. Kind of overdrive it, and I don't think it's going to be much of a battle. As you see Reedy blink again, something we don't typically see him do.
Yeah, that's concerning if you're Austin Reedy. I was hoping for his sake that, we saw that blink a little bit early. Maybe it was just still staying in that pack racing that we had there for a little bit, but we're a little bit more spread out now. You keep seeing that little blink here and there. That's a little concerning.
So checking back in on Vincent Cortez, and, well, he's got Jacob Manning just behind him, too. So he's staring down the possibility of going a lap down in 20th place. Another lap down, I should say. I think he is already. No, he's actually on the lead lap still.
End.
Wow. That's really surprising considering how much time he lost from having to go back around once again. But he has a very fast number 50 machine now. Lucky for Cortez, he's got a little bit fresher tires, but he's not feeling very lucky in Vegas right now.
No, and one thing I should say, when I was talking about 2 laps, 3 laps, that's the total process. Now, everybody else was making those pit stops, so there's a lap there. So that process kind of works out about that. But this is going to be a real tough spot here because, A, Vincent Cortez needs to stay in front of Jacob Manning, not just to stay on the lead lap, but say a caution comes out, all of a sudden he's right back in it. He's also got to just make sure he doesn't fall that 1 lap back, because not far ahead of him is Logan Joyner. If Joyner also goes a lap down in that process, there goes the lucky dog, and Vincent Cortez is trapped.
Yeah, so it looks like Cortez is able to pull away for the time being, but just checking in once again on the team standings. You got Manning in first, Seth Reed in 4th, and Josh Susi now in 5th. That's not a bad night for JW. Currently for Tank, Balliet sits there in 3rd, but then you got to go down to Adrian Schumacher in 10th place. And then Devin Zimmerman in 16th. JW very much in control of the team championship side of things, too. So that's going to go ahead and give us an opportunity to step aside, run a quick commercial break, and come right back with the championship 165.
Want to be a part of an SI league that's fair? Look no further than Speed Racing Network. Originally known as Mid-South Madness, SRN has evolved into a league that can bring the best out in any given driver. Drivers work their way up through the ranks to hopefully one day call themselves a champion of Speed Racing Network. If you're interested in joining, don't hesitate to reach out to league admins to claim your spot today. Maybe you'll end up in the history books. If you're interested in becoming a sponsor in Speed Racing Network, feel free to head over to www.speedracingnetwork.com and reach out to an admin today. And as always, remember to go faster.
Silverback Tax Solutions specializes in dealing with IRS tax problems. If you are receiving threatening letters from the IRS, or if the IRS has placed liens or levies on your property, Silverback Tax Solutions can help you find relief. We have worked with hundreds of people to resolve their tax problems. If you're behind on filing your taxes, it's never too late to get on the right track. Silverback Tax Solutions can help with that also. Don't let another night go by where you lose sleep worrying about the IRS or your taxes. Head over to www.silverbacktx.com or call 662-996-4357 and contact an enrolled agent today. We can help you gain peace of mind and deal with those problems for you.
With the Butt Kicker Gamer 2, what you see and what you hear is what you feel. Butt Kicker. The future is feeling.
Back out here at Las Vegas Motor Speedway, and the best battle on the track right now currently for third. Seth Reed trying to get by Joshua Balliet here. We were talking during the break. It's seemingly harder for these guys to pass than we thought in the Xfinity cars here tonight.
Yeah, and I think part of it is, we're getting to the nighttime conditions a little bit cooler. I think it's going to be easier to kind of stay out there on the racetrack and keep some grip in it because of that cool racetrack. I think the other thing, too, is the amount of lines here at Vegas. We're seeing different entry points, different exits, different ways through the middle of the turn. I think these guys are really figuring out that they can play some pretty good defense if somebody's trying to make a pass from coming up from behind them. But this battle, we were watching it throughout the entire break, really close racing. That gap about level, so they're running pretty identical lap times, but this is a race for a $60 difference in the season winnings.
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely going to matter. I mean, it might not be for the championship, but it's going to pad your wallet a little bit more and give you a little bit of pride too. But right now, I mean, not much separation as far as the championship contenders go. We got 4 of them in the top 4. Vincent Cortez back there in 19th. He got around Logan Joyner and is still currently on the lead lap as he continues to put a little bit of distance between him and Jacob Manning. But Vincent going to need a lot of help in the form of a caution to come away with any chance of maybe getting back up here to race with these guys, as Jacob Manning coming to the stripe now to complete the halfway point in this race, starting lap number 55 out of 110 here tonight.
Yeah, he is absolutely cruising here in this one. And one trend that we do have in these 3 Xfinity Series races at Las Vegas and SRN the past 3 seasons, the person that won is the person that led the most laps, and Jacob Manning well on his way of being able to do that here tonight. We're just past halfway, but I think he's only going to need about 12 more laps led to be able to pull that off.
Yeah, so once again, those bonus points not going to matter as far as determining the order. It's just going to go to the highest finishing driver here tonight, but it will come into play as far as the team championship standings go. So that is always in the back of the minds of the JW Racing drivers, as they always take a lot of pride. And so does Tank Racing. So it's probably the 2 teams that take the most pride here in the team championships going head to head here. But Tank, man, they're going to need a lot of help here with Balliet. Like I said, 3rd. Schumacher is still back there in 10th place. Max Service now the next car up. He is in 15th. So they got a lot of work to do if they want to contend with these boys here tonight.
Man, the last out of that Tank group, Vincent Cortez sitting there. He's now up into the 18th position, but I'm a little curious. He's been putting down some mega lap times right now. I'm worried if he's not blowing them up, just hoping that he can stay out in front of the leader and get that caution.
Yeah, you see he's about 28.5 seconds back of Jacob Manning now. When he came out, he was about 30 seconds back and right in front of Jacob Manning. So he's put about 1.5 seconds in between him and that 50 car, but still he needs a lot of help here to get back up here with these guys. And still, this is the best battle on the track so far. Balliet, you can see the distance between them and Reedy currently up there in 2nd. Reedy just having a quiet night, sits 3.4 seconds back of our leader, Jacob Manning. But Reedy, who has been red hot here lately, it's kind of a surprise to see him not have the best car. Didn't have the best car last week, but still had a little bit of luck play into his hands where he was pretty much able to get back up front and didn't work out, even though Jacob Manning gets up front. But these 2 are trying to get back up there and get up there to contend with that 50 car.
It's real interesting. They're kind of working out to identical lap times still at this point. It was a 32.09 for Reed, a 32.08 for Balliet last time by. They're going through it 2 completely different ways, though. You're seeing Balliet kind of enter about middle high, and now I think Reed is about ready to do the same thing here and make me just look like an idiot as I start talking about it. Reed was entering a lot lower before that turn, though. So I think maybe he's been studying Balliet a little bit and thinking, all right, that's kind of holding me off. Maybe I can try this out a little bit.
Yeah, and they do have 1 lap fresher tires than Jacob Manning, but really not seeming like that's helping them too much. They do have 4 laps on Austin Reedy, so they should be catching up to that 96 here soon. And that really helps because second comes away with $300 as opposed to 180 going to third. So that's a nice little jump in as far as the money goes. So with Mr. Krabs on the hood of this 7, Balliette's going to won second here before too long.
Yeah, I mean that's a $120 difference. That's a lot of Krabby Patties right there. So that car is starting to move up towards the front here a little bit more too. That last time by Austin Reedy 32-31. This time Joshua Balliette and Seth Reed 32-2. So they are inching forward just bit by bit, about a tenth a second a lap right now.
Now you can see the battle for second right there. That delta between Balliette and Reedy just shrinking and shrinking here, almost as small as Plinkton now. All right, we're going to stop with the SpongeBob references, but it's too fun, man. It's childhood memory, man.
Last night we had all the Vegas references. Tonight we got all the SpongeBob references. We're getting them all worked out of the system here in the final week of the season.
Yeah, we got to use them while we got them because it's going to be over for a few months after tonight. And it's running by quickly here. Only 30 minutes into this race and 62 laps completed as Jacob Manning crosses the stripe to start lap 63 here. But riding on board, there's Nick Halda in that damage number 54 for JW Racing. He is just going to stay down to the inside as these two get on by. This battle for the second place position getting closer and closer here in Vegas.
Yeah, well, this one's getting closer, though. Jacob Manning's lead just continuing to grow. It is now over 4 seconds for the first time here tonight. And keep in mind, we had, 40 laps on that first run before everybody started to come down. Oh, caution, right as I was about to talk about this.
Well, one man
Bowdler
is going to love that.
Yeah, Vincent Cortez is absolutely going to love it. I think Reedy, Balliette, and Reed are going to love it too. Get this thing recycled through, but Daniel Bowdler, big time damage to the front end of that 6 car.
Let's go ahead, cue up the admin box rec replay for the first time here tonight. Let's see exactly what happened to the driver of the 6 machine.
Well, we got Devin Zimmerman closing in, little contact, and yeah, just kind of knocked that 6 around. Saw that front end damage. I'm guessing that came from something earlier, unless somebody gets into him here as he's turning it around. But didn't take much to get that car around, that's for sure.
Oh, well, yeah. That'll happen when you drive into the back of somebody here in the turns like we saw the 93 just do. I have to imagine this will be an easy call for the admins. I mean, not sure what the play was there, but yeah, Zimmerman going to probably be tacked with the EOL for that one, moving Daniel Bowdler just right out of the way.
Yeah, so we'll see how that officially goes down there, but I think that one might be pretty easy. But this is going to be big here. Everybody down pit road, including the entire Championship 4. Vincent Cortez is going to be pulled back to the rest of the pack, too. So this is going to be about a 25-second advantage as we saw Logan Truitt overshoot the pit. Everybody in the Championship 4 that's up front, they did a good job on pit road. Jacob Manning going to come away, and he will lead that race off pit road. Austin Reedy second. Joshua Balliette just ahead of Seth Reed. So 1, 2, 3, 4 in is 1, 2, 3, 4 out.
Yep, same way in, same way out as we see everybody else exit. That really killed Logan Truitt. He was running near the top 5. That's going to put him back to 10th after that one. So that little mistake on pit road is usually all it takes. So we're going to re-rack them, get some people back on the lead lap, and we're going to step aside, run another commercial break here, and come right back with Silverback Tax Solutions green flag.
Silverback Tax Solutions specializes in dealing with IRS tax problems. If you are receiving threatening letters from the IRS, or if the IRS has placed liens or levies on your property, Silverback Tax Solutions can help you find relief. We have worked with hundreds of people to resolve their tax problems. If you're behind on filing your taxes, it's never too late to get on the right track. Silverback Tax Solutions can help with that also. Don't let another night go by where you lose sleep worrying about the IRS or your taxes. Head over to www.silverbacttax.com or call 662-996-4357 and contact an enrolled agent today. We can help you gain peace of mind and deal with those problems for you.
With the Butt Kicker Gamer 2, what you see and what you hear is what you feel. Butt Kicker. The future is feeling.
Want to be a part of an established league on iRacing? A league that's competitive, fun, and above all fair? Look no further than Speed Racing Network. Originally known as Mid-South Madness, SRN has evolved into a league that can bring the best out in any given driver. Drivers work their way up through the ranks to hopefully one day call themselves a champion of Speed Racing Network. If you're interested in joining, don't hesitate to reach out to league admins to claim your spot today, and maybe you'll end up in the history books. If you're interested in becoming a sponsor in Speed Racing Network, feel free to head over to www.speedracingnetwork.com and reach out to an admin today. And as always, remember to go faster.
Well, pace car lights are off, and Brandon, we are still in line for possibly one more pit stop from here to the end. It's going to be close, but we could be seeing some strategy being played here, and a missed opportunity for some back in the further on back in the pack.
Absolutely. We saw everybody, it looks like from Jonathan Byer down. Actually, I'm going to throw Nathan De La Rosa in there, Logan Truitt in there as well. They all came down this time, and one reason why. There's 44 laps to go, 43 when we take the green. The fuel window, we saw them make 42 laps earlier, so if this thing stays green, there's going to be some strategy going on here.
And we were saying Vincent Cortez might come down, and he did not come down to top off. A huge missed opportunity potentially for the 23 machine. We'll see how it pays off, and if this is the only caution here tonight, this is going to certainly shake things up. Devin Zimmerman getting that EOL penalty, so he's going to go to the back of the pack as they approach the Geico restart zone. That's going to bring out the Silverback Tax Solutions green flag for the second time here tonight. Reedy blinking again. That's going to be troublesome with his field bunched back up.
Yeah, that's something that he's definitely going to have to keep an eye on. Not a whole lot he can do about it, though, at this point. So it's just going to have to hope that it stays working the rest of the way. And did a really good job keeping close to Manning, who was able to really stick that bottom line. But a great exit there for Reedy, trying to get close up to that back bumper.
Yeah, and you would think that this really throws a wrench into the 50s race, but just with the way that car is driving here tonight, I don't think he's too worried about it. And currently setting sail and has the two guys behind him battling hard for second place. Seth Reed goes to the outside. I think he's going to clear Reedy this time and go to maybe make a move on his teammate Jacob Manning out in front here. So Seth Reed takes second, Reedy back to third, Balliet holds in fourth.
And there's one thing that we haven't really been able to talk about because of this restart that showed up, and that's getting a second chance. All of a sudden, you got new life in this thing. That car isn't 4 seconds away. That wakes you up mentally and maybe pulls Jacob Manning back a little bit mentally as well, losing that lead. This thing might psychologically become an entirely different race after this restart.
Well, now it just, you got that in your head. Oh, Balliet real tight. He gets into the wall hard in the 7. I didn't think that was going to work at all, and it didn't. That's a big hit for the 7.
Yeah, he was really trying to give it everything there coming off of turn 2. I don't know if maybe he thought he was trying to make that outside line work, and maybe Reedy was kind of pushing up a little bit too and just kind of lost the air there on that one, or just too much speed he was trying to carry. But either way, he slammed that wall hard with that right side, and that 7's going to be hurting the rest of the night.
Oh, new life, you said, to Vincent Cortez. He's up to 8th now, after falling all the way back to 20th after that pit row entry error on that first round of green flag pit stops. So he is feeling good about his race now after probably seeing red for probably 30 or so laps after making that mistake and having the issues with Lautenschlager a little while ago. But hey, it's a new race if you're in that 23 machine, and so far looking good up to 8th. The battle, though, for the lead, heating up between the two JW Racing teammates. Seth Reed right on the bumper of his teammate Jacob Manning.
And now I think that team alliance think that kind of goes out the window here at this point of the race. Under 40 laps to go, trying to win that individual championship as well. See how that works out between these two, because it's going to take, as difficult as it's been to try to make a pass on Jacob Manning all night, it's going to take maybe a little bit of a big move, maybe one that you wouldn't normally put on its teammate to try to work your way around him.
Yeah, and it's hard to get it in your head right now that you don't want to push too hard if you're in that 51 car, because we've seen Jacob Manning just pull away when it comes to the long runs. So you got to take care of the tires, but also manage that gap at the same time. But this battle for third is really heating up too. Josh Susie is really trying to make this thing a 1-2-3 as far as the team championship goes, and right now looking good right on the bumper of Austin Reedy. Cole Martin getting into the fray now too. He's in the top 5 in that 10 car.
Yeah, you got some guys starting to move their way forward just that little bit. Susie's been running up in that top 6 all night long, but he's starting to inch forward. Cole Martin doing the same, as is Jovi Ray, the winner back in season 1 here in Las Vegas. He's starting to move his way up towards the front now in 6th place.
And there's Balliet just behind Jovi Ray. He's kind of settled in after that big hit, but I know that has got to not feel good in that 7 car after that. I mean, that was solid. Like, that wasn't just a scrape of the wall. He got that wall pretty good, and you could see it coming off of 4. It looked like it was not going to work, or actually, I think it was coming off of the exit of 2. It was not going to work is what he was doing, and it just clobbered the side. So there goes Vincent Cortez now. He moves up into 4th. As far as the team champion, or excuse me, the individual championship drivers go. He's up to 7th. He's got some drivers in between him if he wants to contend with Manning, Reed, and Reedy up there up front. But like I said, new life can kind of just give you a new sense of confidence. And right now, the 23 is moving forward.
Certainly is. And actually, I'm watching a couple cars on my second screen that are moving back as we kind of get single file here up towards the front. Think about the fuel mileage game on this one, and I'm watching Jonathan Byer and Max Service. They're running near 32-second laps, about a half second off pace. These two, they are definitely playing the fuel strategy game. So if this thing stays green, you might be seeing the race winners right here out of Byer and Service trying to battle it back and save
He's
that fuel mileage.
You can hear him clutching it. If you turn your audio up enough, can't really see it on the tack, as the steering wheel is blocking the RPM tack, but he is definitely clutching it. It's not for very long, but it's enough to where he is going to be saving more gas than the others out there on the track. And we've seen Jonathan Byer do this before and get a win from it. So why not cap off the end of the season with a win for Jonathan Byer and Jonathan Byer Racing?
Yeah, and Max Service, another one. I don't know if he's clutching it. He's pulling away a little bit. They're only going to have to save about a couple laps of fuel. So I think even if you're not clutching it, you probably can save enough if you're just rolling out of it a little bit early. But that's going to be big for the team championship side of things, because if everybody has to make that pit stop and all of a sudden you got one tank car that's sitting there being able to make it the rest of the way, that might be a big point swing there.
Yeah, so this is on board with Max Service here in the 81. Started the season as the 89, but he's out there in the 81 machine. Not clutching it, but definitely not sending it into the turns either like the rest of the guys here on the fresher tires. So curious to see how this works out for these guys with the long game in mind here.
And it's not a bad play. They came down that one time. I think they kind of know this is the one shot that we got to get back up towards the front. With them kind of sitting around that mid-teens most of the night here. So good call there, trying to do something a little bit different and win the race that way. Is Nathan De La Rosa on the pit road?
Yeah, and this is one of those drivers in contention for that Tier 2 championship. Came in 6 points back of the cut line, or excuse me, the top there. Lautenschlager leading that thing coming into this week, but with Lautenschlager back in 21st, the door is wide open for Logan Truitt and Nathan De La Rosa, two Jonathan Byer teammates. It's getting busier on pit road.
Alliette down pit road now, and I'm not sure if this is the fuel mileage game or if it's damage, but Jovi Ray coming down pit road also. But I was listening to the driver chat, and it wasn't the usual tone that you hear from Joshua Balliette when he said pitting this time.
Yeah, so he's going to bring it down, and typically you don't get damage fixed under green because that's just going to kill the time out there that you're behind on the track, and just trying to see. It looks like he's going to take 4 tires and fuel here and get back out there. So
Yeah, I mean, he hit that wall so hard, he might have had some wheel damage this entire time. It was just trying to manage it, and it might have been either getting worse or it just got to the point where it was just not worth hanging on to.
Yeah, I honestly think he had a little bit of required damage. You could see it took a little while before they got the service going. He was on in his pit stall for 23 seconds, so a longer pit stop than you typically see. As Cole Martin, he's working his way up to the front here quietly in that code red number 10. He wants to win this race tonight and get a win in the books here. Kind of surprising, as Cole Martin has been in the series all season long. 0 wins after we've seen him pretty much dominate the trucks when he was over there for a short time.
Yeah, and keep in mind, he's still very much alive in the Tier 2 championship right now, only 14 points back from the number 1 spot coming into this race, and he's sitting there. I mean, he's had a really solid night, just quietly inching forward all night long. Josh Susie, you see him there racing onto his outside, and then you got Austin Reedy third in the championship side, and don't look now, but Vincent Cortez closing in more and more. He's 6th in the race, 4th out of the championship 5.
If I'm Vincent Cortez, I'm absolutely licking my chops with where he's running. He's with this lead pack, but he doesn't have to race hard with these guys. He's going to go ahead and get an opportunity to move by Cole Martin here on the outside. But right now, all he's got to do is stay with these guys, save a little bit more, and he's going to pass them at the end. And this is a total Vincent Cortez move to just get there at the end. You don't have to lead all the laps here tonight like we've seen Jacob Manning do. And you would think with the beginning of the race that we saw that Jacob Manning was just going to walk away with this thing, and that is absolutely not the case. Nose to tail through our top 5, 4 of which are our championship drivers.
Yeah, and Cole Martin ducked down pit road this past time by, so everybody realizing that they're going to be short and doing very different things to try to get to the end. I don't know if I'd be one of the first ones down, to be honest, because I just don't trust that there's not going to be a caution the rest of the way. But some of these guys really having faith that this thing going to stay green, as we got really good racing here. But one thing I noticed when they were all making their way around Cole Martin, even before he came down pit road on turns 1 and 2, before that high line was really able to pinch down. And speaking of, wow, tight moment there for Austin Reedy. But that high line, they were able to pinch down somebody on that low line and really kill any momentum on that inside line. And they were able to make some passes on that high side.
And it's just crazy to see as we see Vincent Cortez bring it down here for his final pit stop under green here tonight for the final race of the season. But that top 5 that was just out there could have easily been the 5 cars that were battling for the championship. Susie, big time in the wall there.
Same thing we saw from Joshua Balliet, just going smoking through turn 2 and clobbering that outside wall, and we saw how badly that hurt Balliet's car. That looked like an even harder impact coming out of 2 that time for Susie.
Yeah, we mentioned that JW cannot afford any more mistakes as far as the team championship goes, and with 23 laps to go, that 53 car is not going to be feeling good whatsoever. He's going to fall back a little bit as Bo Tiffany goes around, and now Adrian Schumacher gets a little bit of an advantage. That's a 2-point swing as far as the team championship goes, but already down a driver with Nick Halda having trouble earlier. He's down in 23rd. Susie is going to be feeling this all the way to the end with 22 laps to go.
And hey, you say a 2-point swing. Really, that was a 3-point swing because Schumacher picking up a point, making that pass also for tank racing, and now even more spots. That 53 is heavily damaged right now. You can see him barely trying to hang on to it on that high line where it's going to be turning even less. He's having a hard time right now.
You thought it was tight when he hit the wall. It's going to feel even tighter now getting Alpha 2, and keep that in mind. As we see Tank starting to creep up to the front here. Schumacher in 5th, Service back there in 11th. One of those drivers we mentioned possibly saving fuel. Vincent Cortez, Balliet, they're 16th and 17th right now, but they've made their final green flag stop of the night as we see Logan Joyner coming down pit road.
Joyner down pit road, but a nice move there from Austin Reedy right before we cut away to try to get down to that inside line on Seth Reed. He had the nose in there, but not able to keep it. That high line really able to play some good defense or maybe even make some passes there on guys on that inside line. That's going to be vital coming down to these last 20 laps.
I think once we get inside this 20 lap to go mark is when you make your move down pit road. If you're Seth Reed or Austin Reedy, clearly that Jacob Manning is the car to beat here tonight in that 50 car out in front right now. You got to do something to get out in front of Jacob Manning here, and an undercut with 20 to go kind of seems like the play. I know it didn't work out necessarily for Austin Reedy, but that is going to force the hand of Jacob Manning. Once he sees you go down, I imagine Manning will not waste much time, as you got to give yourself enough time to get by these guys. I think we are in that window where we see one of these top 3 drivers come down.
Yeah, I think if you're watching that 50 car, I was just talking a moment ago about how you're risking a caution coming out and just losing all that track position. But as we got Adrian Schumacher down this time, I think we're getting to that point where enough cars are starting to make that move. You're getting to a low enough lap count. By about 15 laps to go, I think you're waiting a little bit too long. I think it's going to have to happen here in these next couple laps.
Not looking like either of them. Maybe Reedy setting himself up to come down this time. Nope, all 3 of them going to stay out, as well as Cole Martin, who, well, he's already come down. He is that first car a lap down in the 10 machine, so he's trying to get by here. And if he does, that would put Adrian Schumacher in line as Vincent Cortez goes right on by him. That would put Vincent Cortez now in line for the lucky dog if Cole Martin can unlap himself. So that'll be big for the 23. You can see him a little bit further back in that black and white 23. So Cole Martin going to get by our leader here. So the first car 1 lap down, Vincent Cortez in 13th.
And all it took was 25 lap pressure tires to make Jacob Manning look like not as fast as he's been all night long. But about a 1.5 seconds difference right now between those tires in terms of those lap times the last time by. It's a significant advantage right now. And in fact, I think with the way that these guys have been running and just having to navigate working through those cars on the faster tires right now, we're seeing the slowest lap times for the leaders all night long. They're running around a 32.5, near a 2-second fall off since the start. Since their fastest lap of the race.
And this is usually a dicey moment too, as far as these lead cars go, because on a typical race you'll call out your pit entry. I have to imagine that nobody today is calling that out whatsoever, because you don't want to let them know if you're right here in this battle for the lead that you're going to come down at this time. So you got to be careful as we watch them just get really tight. This 1-2-3 battle as Cortez goes on by to unlap himself. Could this be the time Reedy comes down? Nope, still staying out there. Very surprising.
I think they're scared about a caution coming out at this point. And now the trouble is you're looking at championship contenders now with Vincent Cortez now unlapping himself at this point. That was the danger point. I think now that he's got that, I mean, granted, he could still come down. He'd be in a rough spot right now in 13th, or he can stay out on slightly worn tires, 9 laps. I mean, this is a point now. If a caution came out right now, it's a golden spot for Cortez. If it comes out 5 laps from now and these 3 stay out and then come down, that's a tough spot, because I don't think Cortez could stay out on those older tires.
I think this is a golden spot for Cortez regardless, because he is going to be substantially ahead of the rest of the guys out there as far as the championship goes. I mean, you got Valiette that's currently still a lap down back in 17th with a damaged car. Cortez will have a significant lead over these 3 guys, and they're running out of time to catch back up to him on those fresher tires. This is why I'm completely beside myself right now. You got to get over that fear. You got to come down. There's no way you're saving the fuel. Your bet's been made. You got to get these tires as we're crossing the stripe, 13 to go.
Well, and you know what? I'm looking at the lap times. These are slower lap times than we've been seeing much of the race by about 3 or 4 tenths of a second. Maybe they are saving fuel a little bit in all this. It doesn't look like it, but the lap times kind of indicate maybe they are. And it wasn't going to take a whole lot. I definitely don't think they're going to be clutching it, but
he's clutching it right now.
Yeah,
Reedy
actually is. They're trying to do both at the same time while racing a quarter second apart from each other.
Let's go right on board with Seth Reed, see if he can. You can see the tack down there. We'll see if you can see it drop. We saw it for the 96. Yep, we just saw a little bit there as the hand covered it up. Oh, what's up with Jacob Manning there?
He got real loose into turn 1. That's going to be a big move there for Seth Reed on the high line. We've seen how potent that high line is.
Three-way battle.
Make it 3 wide.
3-way battle for the championship. Who's going to go ahead and pull the trigger first once they feel like they've got enough? Right now, it is tight as far as this first place position goes. Manning currently still in control. Reedy falls back a little bit. Reed to the outside as well. Who is going to take it as they barrel down towards turn number 1? 11 to go.
3-wide battle for the race lead, the championship lead, and oh, by the way, they're saving gas at the same time. This is unbelievable driving from all three of them. And if they all make it to the end of this race in the same time, that's absolutely unbelievable how much of a show they're putting on while trying to conserve fuel these last 10 laps.
Yeah, you said it takes a lot to come down under these conditions, worrying about a caution. I think it's a ballsier move to just stay out there and clutch these cars while battling for a potential championship here. Got to be careful, too, with Marcy here in the 35. He might not know or realize that you guys are clutching it, too. He's going to go ahead and get by cleanly, but that is going to shake things up. Reed gets back by Reedy for second. Manning tucks back in behind Marcy for first, so nobody yet to pull the trigger as far as maybe having enough fuel, because you would see them probably just take over that lead. Will that force the hand of Manning if he hasn't saved enough fuel to kind of hang on to the track position? A lot of cards to be played here with 9 to go in the championship 165.
I tell you what, I think right now their hands are set as we got Austin Reedy now to the inside. It seems like every time Seth Reed is trying to make a move to the outside of Jacob Manning, Reedy goes to the inside and kind of cuts that move off. But now a little bit of tandem drafting here between these two JW cars. Tight entry into 3.
Yeah, and it's just not the same driving style, too, when you're clutching these cars. It's not giving your engine's not bogging the car down enough to get that turn. You're just kind of rolling through neutral through these turns, so it's not killing the speed as much, too. So I think that's where you're seeing the 96 get a little bit tight with the 51 there. So a lot of adjustments being played on the fly here, too. Oh, while battling for the win. Oh, and a championship, too. So this is crazy as we have 8 laps to go. A little bit in the wall there for the 96.
Yeah, he was trying to get back up to the high line. I think just drifted it up a little bit more. And man, this is amazing patience, by the way, by Logan Joyner right behind him on way fresher tires by about 25 laps. And he knows I don't want to be in the middle of this battle while they're going this tight right now, and he's just kind of chilling behind them.
Yeah, he's a former champion in the series. He knows what's going on right now, what's going on through the heads of these guys. He doesn't want any parts of this. Right now, he would be that lucky dog driver, so he is not in a hurry whatsoever as far as the 9 car goes. Reedy blinks out again on the inside of Seth Reed. They stay side by side as Manning stays in control, coming off of turn 4, still in the lead. 6 laps to go as they cross the stripe this time.
And at this point, they just got to stay out and run this thing dry. I don't see a way that they're going to come down in these next couple laps unless they actually run out of fuel. One thing I'm keeping an eye on, too, remember, we were talking about back service saving gas the entire time. He's running lap times now similar. I think he's good to go the rest of the way.
Yeah, he's currently 9 seconds back, though, so he's not going to catch these guys out there unless they run out of fuel. Jackson Wade is quietly sitting there in 4th place, too. He is on the same strategy as well, trying to save fuel. Last pitted on lap 64 with the rest of these guys under that first and only caution of the night. 5 laps to go in Season 4 of Speed Racing Network. Capping it off with this Xfinity Series guys here in the Silverback Series. And Bo Tiffany coming into the fray now.
Yeah, I don't think there's going to be patience now with 2 guys racing for that lucky dog or trying to unlap themselves. I don't think that patience is going to be the same that we just saw a moment ago. And here we go. Bo Tiffany, he's taking that look to the inside, maybe taking these guys 3 wide.
I just want him to just stay out of this because this is an amazing battle here. 4 laps to go. And a mirror full of a lap down driver in the 49. But this might help Austin Reedy as Bo Tiffany settles in behind him. Reedy trying to make that inside line work, but I just don't see it happening right now. The 2 JW cars on the high line really making it work. Now Logan Joyner coming back up into the fray trying to get that lucky dog spot if we were to get a caution here. But, man, 3 drivers battling for the lead, coming off of turn number 4, taking 3 laps to go here in the Silverback Series Championship race at Las Vegas.
All right, well, they've been clutching it. They've been doing all kinds of different things to save the fuel. I think now it's just you just got to go at this point. I think there's no more clutching. I think it's just full throttle as best as you can all the way around here. We've seen different ways around this racetrack to try to make these passes. That's why they've been kind of varying in these intervals so much. Here we go. Reedy, big dive to the inside.
He sent it in there, and they're going to make contact off of turn number 4. Reedy might have the momentum. He's going to go way down to the bottom. Use the push from Bo Tiffany. Side by side as we see 2 laps to go. Really no difference as they cross the stripe.
Oh! Oh, man, Bo Tiffany getting the nose to the inside. That's the last thing that Austin Reedy wanted, as Tiffany trying to get back on the lead lap in his own right with a lap and a half to go. The two best drivers all season long on the mile and a half. 1-2, side by side with Seth Reed right behind.
Yeah, I hate to see this, especially if a lap car plays into the deciding factor. Manning into the wall, Reedy into the wall.
Reedy!
That's going to put Seth Reed out in front here as we see 1 lap to go. Seth Reed could potentially claim the championship here with 1 clean lap.
Who's got fuel, though? Does everybody in this lead pack have fuel the rest of the way? Vincent Cortez sitting in 7th, 20 seconds back on the lead lap now as Logan Joyner into the wall hard.
1 more set of turns for the 51. I see fuel coming out of the headers. That might mean fire coming out of the headers for the 51. That means he has enough. He is going to come back and see the checkered flag waving. And Seth Reed is a champion here in the Silverback Series.
My goodness, that is an absolute masterclass that we saw from these 3 drivers leading that championship race all the way
Jacob's
through.
out
There
of
was
fuel.
that contact. Yeah, Jacob Manning out of fuel as he's going to coast around. He's going to be in front of Vincent Cortez, though, as Manning will finish 5th. Cortez will finish in 7th. And my goodness, I know there's that contact there late, pushing as hard as they could, but to race as tight as they were for 20 laps like they were while trying to save fuel, that is some of the best driving I've seen in iRacing in a long time.
And I don't even think he's going to have enough fuel. He's just going to bring it down to pit lane. He can't even celebrate. But, man, I know there is some celebrating happening right now in the house of Seth Reed. So I am super pumped for this guy. This is one of my good buddies here in SRN, and just one of he's just a good dude and well-deserved. I know Manning had the car to beat tonight and unfortunately had that hit on the wall there, but I don't think Manning was going to get back around regardless. It looked like he was out of fuel.
Yeah, either out of fuel or just maybe that thing just broke enough that had a hard time. Looks like there's a little bit of fuel left in there.
Yeah, he's going to get some fuel in there,
he
and go and celebrate, I think, because, this man deserves to celebrate.
Yeah, I was wondering if maybe he had the fuel and just didn't feel like celebrating for some reason. But yeah, it looks like he's going to give it a go now after getting a little bit there. But man, I gotta tell you, try not to say too much about what goes on in the driver chat. But there is so much apologizing and just complimenting about how they were racing. But Austin Reed, he's just saying, I gave it everything I could in that turn. I gave it too much. That's my fault. I'm really impressed by the driver chatter and how they've been handling that racing at the end. Just real hard racing, going for everything at the end of the season.
You see Vincent Cortez with a little bit of a congratulatory tap. I don't know if that was a kiss or what.
I don't know if is Reed out of fuel now. No, maybe not. Maybe he might just have
he
enough
might just be
to
beside
keep it
himself
going.
here.
There might just be enough fuel to get it going every now and then. But yeah, now we got Cortez pushing up.
Yeah, I don't know what's going on. Yeah, you can see it sputtering there.
He tried to get some fuel in it, but I think the pit crew already packed up those cans.
Oh, yeah, they're celebrating. Yeah, that car has zero power right now.
Want to know how good of a job they did saving it while running as tight as they were? That's how good. Can't even celebrate a championship. That's how little fuel's left.
This man, I believe, led 1 lap here tonight. Vincent with the race that he had, helping Seth Reed out. You got to love that. And that's the family we have here in Speed Racing Network. Not sure what we're watching right now.
Oh, man. He's trying so hard to get him going. And
he's doing a burnout for him.
He's like, are you on the brake right now? No. Oh, well, you're in the grass. I can't really get any traction, I guess.
He's going to give him a good shot here to try and move him. Nope. That car is planted in the grass. I don't think it matters because regardless, Seth Reed is a champion here in the Speed Racing Network Silverback Tax Series. So he's going to go ahead and celebrate a little bit differently, just not going to be able to do donuts here.
He's going to get a substitute celebration as Vincent Cortez doing the burnouts for him now.
Well, what do you say we just bring him on up here and talk to the man of the hour, because that's all that matters here in the last race, the champ. So let's bring Seth Reed on up into the booth. Seth Reed, my man, you are the champion here in the Silverback Series. What is going on in that head of yours right now?
Oh my God, what a crazy race. I honestly was not expecting to win it after losing control of the race there at the beginning. I dropped all the way to 5th, and I was 4th car in line on the championship guys. And man, you can't be 4th with the talent that the top 5 exhibited. So somehow lucked my way into getting 2nd, and then that caution came out, and we all were like, oh god, because it's hard to save fuel. I'm not very good at it. Hats off to Jacob. I mean, he took it for the team. I was able to run 3/4 throttle behind him, and whew, man, the jitters are going. And then chaos was happening all around me. I just saw puffs of smoke everywhere. I'm like, oh no. Reedy was racing me tight just because last week he said he was going to race us tighter, and I knew he was going to. And man, if I bobbled left to right by an inch going down the back stretch every lap, we were going to be getting into it. And then Jacob was going to be short, and he was trying to save fuel on the top, and Reedy started getting position. And I thought that was it. And then puff of smoke, and I was in the clear. And I miscalculated. I saved a lap of fuel, so I was like, oh wow, white flag, let's go. I thought there was 2 to go.
Oh, man alive. We were just talking about, how tight the racing was, going for the race win, going for the championship win, saving fuel at the same time, navigating cars on fresh tires that did come down pit road, thinking that they weren't going to be able to save it. Is that the hardest you've ever had to drive on iRacing with everything navigating there?
I wasn't driving hard, to be honest with you. It was the most stuff going on.
Yeah.
There was a lot of scenarios. Usually it's like, all right, he has lap pressure tires. How do I hold him off? And what lap do I pit? But this was cracking the throttle when I saw Reedy would, and then and clutching when I heard him clutch. Like, I thought he saved enough fuel when he started coming back through, but I kept hearing him clutch. So I was like, all right, he's still worried about it. I figured he was, because I was worried about it too. And obviously we pitted the same lap, and oh man, that was freaking crazy.
Well, I feel like we can hear it in your voice, but Seth, you've been trying for a few seasons now to get to this point, just to even get to the final 5, but in your first attempt, you get a championship in wild fashion. What does this mean to you? I know a lot of people are saying, maybe this is a video game, it's not that big of a deal, but you've been doing this for a while, and you know how hard it is to just get to this spot. What does this mean for you right now, man?
Oh man, it means the world. It wouldn't mean anything if we didn't have a competitive league. If you went out there, won every race and all that stuff, like it wouldn't mean much. But the amount of effort everyone puts into this series, that's what makes it meaningful, because it's so hard to win. I actually just realized I actually won the race. Shoot! Wow, 2nd win of the year. Let's go. But oh man, lost the train of thought. Yeah, I mean, it means everything. You put so much work into this. This is probably the hobby that I put the most time in. I do other recreational sports like sand volleyball and softball and stuff like that. But you show up, slap a ball around, hit a ball around, and go home. This you can't do. You can't jump on and turn some laps and win a race. You have to put so much time and effort into it. Thinking about different lines, different strategies. There's a lot that goes into this, and just any change in the line, like if you hit a bump wrong, if you miss your line just slightly, man, you lose a 10th, and a 10th is the difference between running first and running 10th. So it's so hard to win these races, let alone a freaking championship. Like, I don't want to come back to this track for a very long time. I've seen too much of it, to be honest with you. Unfortunately, the racing wasn't. I feel like the fuel strategy made the race amazing at the end. It's when we put these schedules out, we have so many patches, so many updates. You can't predict that, and the racing just kind of deteriorated on this track over the past couple patches, and and whatever those quarterly things are called, updates or whatever. And it just it was hard to pass, really hard to pass. Like after 5 laps, you can't make a pass. If against the caliber drivers we're racing against, they can pinch you off and ruin your momentum. Like you saw me drop to 5th there on that start because I got trapped on the bottom. Like, and it took me 10 laps to get past the 99. I wish I could say I meant to give him a little bump and run, but I didn't. So, I mean, it worked flawlessly, and I got past him. I wish I could have claimed it that I meant to do it, but I got past him, and it was a fun race though. It was exhilarating, I guess you could say.
Well, Seth, I get to ask this one more time here in season 4. Before we let you go, who you got to thank here tonight as you celebrate down there with your teammates?
How much time do I got?
Hey, you know what? This is your moment, man. Take it all.
Man, first and foremost, JW. I don't. Do you know how the team championship played out? Do you know if we won it or
It's
not?
too close to call right now.
Good Lord. It was a bummer what happened to Ballier and Cortez. They were quick. It's fortunate that they got taken out. I don't know how, but I saw Ballier hit the wall, and I don't know what happened to Cortez. I was hoping they'd be up there battling as well. I mean, sigh of relief when they did hit the wall and stuff happened, but at the same time, you don't want competition to fall out because of that. But I mean, that's racing, right? But JW, I don't know how I got off on that tangent, but JW in general, racing with Jacob, he's made me better. We push each other every week. He tops me in practice on qualifying. I top him, and you can see it in the competition in qualifying. We're starting. I think I've had my best average start for this in my career here in SRN. So has Jacob. Susie's been pushing us on long run, giving us different lines we can think about. Nick giving us information, like past YouTube videos to watch, like tutorial videos. Sometimes they work, sometimes they don't, just because patches and the updates and stuff like that, like I said. But and then Michael, it's been hard for him to split 2 series, I can tell. That's why I don't do it. It takes a lot of effort to be competitive in one league, let alone 2, and for him to make it to the playoffs in one of the seasons, just splitting his time, that's impressive in itself, and that shows the caliber driver he is. And last but not least, JW, Justin, he pushes us. He gives us different perspectives on things. He likes to challenge our mindset philosophy. We like to challenge his as well, and that's how we come to our game plan, as we throw different things out there and we all talk about it. And he organizes a great team. We all communicate really well, and we're competitors. So hats off to Justin. He has passion for it, and you can clearly see that in how he runs his teams. And I do respect that, and I love being on the JW Racing team, best team in the world. And then second, let me see my little cheat sheet. Warrior Apps, actually, they came on board this year. I haven't given them the performance I felt like they deserved. I ran really well last year, 4 wins. I feel like I led more laps last year. But hey, got them the ship. Warrior Apps, baby. Use discount code SR51, 10% off your first order. They put out badass wraps, I'll tell you what. And then Rogue Energy, they've been supporting us all JW since they came in the league. And let's just say I was seeing Rogue Energy on the back of Jacob Manning's car for 50 laps there. So how about you go order some Rogue Energy, use discount code JW Racing for 10% off. Bryce, he's my buddy. He's been watching. He's been cheering me on. So hats off to him. Daniel Keith, like I said, He's been supporting me. I was on his team last year for 2 years, and I improved the most on that team, trying to just learn SRN. He showed me the ropes of it and stuff. And hats off to him. I enjoy their support, and broadcasters, y'all do a badass job. It's a shame, Greg, you won't be up there, but I know you're busy. I know you're making a name for yourself in your personal life, so go get it.
Trying.
I hope you're out on the track next year. I wanna compete with you.
Hey, man.
I still owe you for Texas Cut. Gosh darn it. So I wanna repeat that and get us both in the top 5 and race for the championship next year. Brandon, you are like Larry Mack of the SRN.
He really
League.
is. He really is.
You are Larry Mack. You come up with you're calling the strategies right up there. You're going through the pit strategy. You're going through. You diagnose the race in a sense, so everyone understands, and you go into the layers of it, and it's really fun to hear that on broadcast. And actually, some things caught me off guard. I'm like, oh wow, and I've actually applied some of those things to races as well. So yeah, you could say you're about 0.1% JW, since you've been helping us out a little bit on the broadcast, right? So even though you don't want to claim it, I'm just going to say it. And then just everybody in SRN, man. We all can bicker and banter, but we're all brothers, we're all competing. And we just want to have fun out here. Yeah, like I said, we bicker, but yeah, you can say it's a video game, but we also have passion for it, and you can see that. And it's fun racing out there with everybody. It's a thrill, that's for sure. And obviously admins, like I said, thankless job. They do one hell of a job. There's a call you have to make every single caution, and one guy's going to be mad about it. 80% of the time, someone's going to be mad about it. So to admin and do everything, every race, and still make it through the season with all the not name calling, but all the harsh words they can receive, they still show up. Hats off to them, and like I said, hats off to everybody else at SRN, and I cannot wait until next season.
Well, Seth, well said at all of that. I certainly appreciate the kind words. I know Brandon does as well, and I certainly am looking forward to getting out there again. We don't know what's going on for season 5 yet, but I know that I will definitely be out there with you, because I've said it for a few weeks now. You are definitely one of my favorite guys out there on the track. You're a class act off the track, class act on the track, and I cannot say this anymore. I mean this so much. You deserve this 100%. So I am super proud of you, man. Congratulations. You are the champ. Have a good night, bud.
Thanks, guys. Y'all have a good off season.
All right, man. I don't think he missed one person out there. He man had a lot to say, and I'm not one to interrupt the guy when it's time for his moment, and a well-deserved moment indeed. Tell the tale of the race, and all that mattered was the one lap at the end. I think he only led 2 laps tonight, and he comes away a champion.
How about that? I think in those 2 laps, maybe led 1.6 miles out of this entire race and got that championship done. And man, that's just a heck of a job that really all 3 of those guys put down, trying to make all that work out while saving all that fuel. They did a tremendous job, and that was a heck of a showing. What a way to close out this season. And you're right, too close to call on the team side. We don't even know that one yet. All 3 races, all 6-score drivers inside the top 9. That happened again tonight.
That's crazy.
So unbelievable there. Everything just right down to the absolute last minute. We couldn't end the season any better than that.
Yeah, if I'm going to make an unofficial claim, I would say it's JW. As you see, their first, 5th, and 9th. We can bring up the results here now and go through them for tonight's race. You got Seth Reed sitting there first, Jacob Manning in 5th, and Josh Susie coming home in 9th, and you got Tank Racing right there in the mix as well. Max Service comes home 4th, Vincent Cortez in 7th, and Adrian Schumacher in 8th place, and I'm starting to see
Oh,
a few team championships, and it does go to JW Racing, 115 to 105, so they are the team champions. Tank Racing will take home the 2nd place prize of $100. So, man, close on all fronts. The final 5 finishing order as far as the final drivers go. Seth Reed first, Austin Reedy comes home 2nd, Jacob Manning 3rd, Vincent Cortez with the 4th place payout, and Joshua Balliet in 5th. Max Service gets that 6th place payout, Schumacher 7th, and Josh Susi comes home 8th, with Jovi and Logan Joyner rounding out the rest of the top 10. So I can't say hats off enough to those top 5 drivers, because it seemed like at one point, any given point of the night, any one of those 5 guys could have been the champ at the end of the day.
Absolutely, and it was like that all playoff long. And one thing I noticed while we were going through the interview there with Seth, and I didn't want to cut him off, but if he is still listening, thank you so much for the kind words there.
Start calling you Larry Mack.
Oh my, that's some big shoes.
Hey,
to
isn't
fill,
his son's name's Brandon, isn't it? I mean,
yeah, I think it is. Yeah.
See, let's go.
I gotta brush up on weather too. Thankfully, that's not a thing yet, apparently, in iRacing. But one thing I was looking at though is in the playoffs, every single Championship 5 driver won a race in the playoff coming into tonight, except for Seth Reed, and he goes and does it in the season finale to win the championship.
Why not?
That's how level that Championship 5 was, all playoff long. Just, we couldn't close out the season any better with this series, closing it out as close as it was all the way through.
Brandon, the script writers were hard at work in this one here tonight, and you just put it all out there for them. But yep, that is going to put a bow here on Season 4 as the music runs out. Our time also runs out here in Season 4. I'm going to start it up again because you know what? We got to drag this out a little bit. I do not want to see it end, but there is still a lot to be done as far as Season 5 goes. If you guys need any sort of updates on that, please head over to Instagram, follow Speed Racing Network. All the updates will be posted there, as well as on Facebook. And also, you can hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, and hit the little bell here on YouTube so you know exactly the next time that we go live. Seeing Sean is just heavy on the work right now. He just posted the Tier 2 championship. That goes to Logan Truitt. He gets the $25 prize. Cole Martin comes home 2nd. Lautenschlager comes home in 3rd. So all 3 of those drivers will be taking home a little cash too. But yeah, definitely stay tuned to updates as far as Season 5 goes. A lot to be sorted out when it comes to that for Jason Tripp and Sean Griffith. But yeah, this could be potentially maybe my last time up here in the booth. We'll have to see. Brandon, like I said, a lot to be sorted out here. I certainly don't want to walk away from it, but I have a lot going on in my life right now, so we got to sort all that out, but plenty of time to do just that. But I cannot think. Oh, go ahead.
I was just going to say, if it is, it's been an absolute pleasure calling so many races with you. I think this has been awesome for the past few seasons, and it's been absolutely fun. And to end it on this kind of a race, we couldn't ask for anything better there.
Yeah, and for those that don't know, me and Brandon have pretty much developed a bromance as far as how many races. I mean, you have become one of my best friends, and I truly mean that. I've made a lot of best friends here, and I'm not ready to see it go just yet. So we'll keep an eye on what potentially happens, but I cannot thank each and every one of you guys out there on YouTube, whether it's Facebook or Twitch, all 3 avenues. I can't thank everybody enough. You guys make it worthwhile, and you guys are the reason why I do this and come up here every night to put on a great show and a great race, and I certainly appreciate you guys stopping by each and every night. But that's going to do it here in Las Vegas. Seth Reed is our champion here in the Silverback Series. Got to also congratulate the other champions, Joseph Causey and Ben Park in the Silverback, Butt Kicker Cup Series and TJ's Team Truck Series. A lot of sponsors here in the Speed Racing Network, so got to sort all those out. But all 3 champions, well deserved, and looking forward to seeing what they got when we do get back on track for Season 5. But that's going to do it for us here tonight. For myself, Brandon Domain, Jason Tripp, Sean Griffith, and each and every one of the drivers out there on the track here tonight, I can't thank you guys enough. Good night, and remember to go faster.
Thank you.